friends, welcome back. So, in this video, we are going to discuss about science. So, in science, we are going to discuss about matter in our surroundings. So, what is matter? See, matter is defined as something that has mass and occupies space. For example, take a cube. See, this has some substance in it. So, the total substance of this object is called its mass, and this occupies some space, or it has some volume. So, in other words, matter can be defined as something that has mass and also has volume. So, objects are matter. We, air, water, everything are matter. If we observe in our surroundings, there are so many types of matter. So, is matter continuous or particle type? Continuous means like this board or this marker or a piece of block without any partition or parts. And this particle type is like sand made of small particles. See, we need to perform a small experiment in order to prove that. See, take an 100 ml beaker and add some color, or you can use some antiseptic also. See, if we add color, the water becomes colorful. If again use that water as the color and dilute it continuously, then what we observe is, the more we dilute, there is still color in that water. If matter is continuous, it cannot be passed on to other objects. But if it is a particle type, some of the color particles will be transferred to others, and the other liquids also become colorful. So, with this experiment, it is clear that matter is made up of particles. These particles are so small that we can see them only in a powerful microscope. So, there are actually 3 states of matter. So, the first one is solid, and the second one is liquid, and the third one is a gas. So, can we define these 3 states of matter? In order to define them, we need to know something. First, so we should know that particles always move. They are not stable. And the second thing is we need to know about energy. See, if we are moving, we are having some energy, so we are moving. If we are throwing a ball, it has some energy, so it is moving. So the energy produced through movement is called kinetic energy. So, in other words, kinetic energy is the energy obtained from motion. See, if we put force or apply force in motion against the dynamo, then we can produce energy. So, by using the idea of kinetic energy and particles always move, can we define these 3 states of matter? Yes. Solids are the type of substances in which particles are tightly packed. They are bounded so tightly with the intermolecular force, or the force between the molecules, so tightly that they move very hardly. So, they have less kinetic energy. In other words, solids have very less amount of kinetic energy. This molecule has some kinetic energy, this molecule has some. The total kinetic energy is very low, so the particles doesn't move and they are tightly packed, so they are solids. And we come to the liquids. The particles are free. They have some kinetic energy. This has some kinetic energy, this has some kinetic energy, this has this. But this kinetic energy is more than that of solids. So the molecules are loosely packed or free. So liquids can obtain any shape and can flow freely. But when coming to the gases, the particles are not holded together. The intermolecular force is so loose that they are far away from each other. And the kinetic energy is so high that they move at very high speed, and they even touch or dash each other. That's why gases are flowing or flying. They are very free that they can be fitted anywhere. So all three substances occupy volume. So these are the three states of matter. So can we convert this solid to liquid and liquid to gas? Yes. What we have to do is we need to add some kinetic energy. So the molecules in a solid are tightly packed. They hardly move. So if we give them some kinetic energy, then they can move. So where does this kinetic energy come from? Remember that heat is a form of energy. So if we transfer the heat energy into these molecules, they gain some kinetic energy. So if we heat a solid, then the kinetic energy in the molecules will rise. Eventually, they break the intermolecular force and they start to be free. At that stage, it becomes a liquid. So it is the same case in a liquid. As they are free, if we add some more kinetic energy to that liquid molecules, then the molecules will again start to move, and after some kinetic energy is gained, they move so quick with high energy, they convert into gas. So by using heating, we can convert these stages, the different states of matters, into other states of matters. How about cooling? If we cool a gas, then these all lose kinetic energy because the source of energy is not present, and after they use their energy, there is no energy left for them to move, so they come closer and closer and become free, and at that stage they become liquids. And if we cool down, and there will be no kinetic energy, or very less amount of kinetic energy will be left, and they all become closer and closer and become a solid. Thus, change in temperature causes changes in states of matter. For example, take an ice cube, and if we heat that, and at exactly 0 degrees centigrade, it becomes a liquid. But the liquid is also 0 degrees centigrade. But see, the freezing point of liquid or water is 0 degrees, and the melting point of ice is also 0 degrees. What if both of them are equal? Why? Because the amount of heat to change the state of matter, for 1 kg matter, we need to change the state, then we use some heat. That heat is called specific heat. So ice is, for example, temperature 0 degrees. If we want to convert it into water, at 0 degrees it will convert into water. So the in between we heated, That heat is called specific heat. Specific heat of fusion. And that is the same case in the liquids and gases. At 100 degrees C, water transforms into water vapor. And at 100 degrees, the water vapor condenses to liquid. This heat is called specific heat of evaporation or evaporation. So, we understood that the particles are very loose or very free in gases. If we forcefully fit them, we use high pressure and forcibly close them together, and they become free, less free because of the pressure, and they convert into liquid. Why? Because of the freeness. Because there is less freeness in a liquid, and we are forcibly pushing those molecules into very free state to only less free state, and they will be converted into liquids. If we put pressure more and more, they become tightly packed and they become solid. So, this means that we can use temperature as well as pressure to change the state of matter. Now, let us understand the relationship between solids, liquids, gases. Solids transform into liquids by the process of condensation. Melting, and liquids transform to solids by the process of freezing or cooling, and liquids to gases by the process of evaporation, and gases to liquids by the process of condensation. Okay, now we can build a triangle. Gases to solids, what does it call? And solids to gases. So, gases turn directly into solids. This process is called deposition. And solids to gases is called sublimation. For example, we can take a look at camphor. If we fire camphor, it directly becomes into gas. And for deposition, we can take hailstorm. Do you ever experience the hailstorm? If the water vapor becomes ice without touching liquid, if it touches liquid, then due to the force of attraction and its weight, it will fall down as rain. But if it doesn't transform into water and directly into solid, then it becomes a hailstorm. So that is a real life experiences for deposition and sublimation. So this is the relationship between solids, liquids and gases. So that's all for this video, and in the next video we will try to learn the different properties, and if possible we will start the another chapter in science, which is are all the substances in our surroundings are pure. So thank you.